Hello YouTuber, welcome back. This time I'm doing a video response to Carl, aka Woodlin37. Put out a question. Generally he was asking, in our opinions, what game series has remained consistent and sort of remained like quality up to now. I've watched one video response so far and I've read a lot of people's comments. The comments of some people have been saying, well, you know, the sports games have gotten better, like FIFA, for example. But I don't want to include sports games because they're really revisions. They're not really proper sequels. You know, they are released annually. You know, they build the game and then every year they sort of add on to it. So it's generally going to get better. But in terms of actual game franchises, the one that it took me a while to sort of come up with one, but before I say what I came up with, a really good one that ST Roro, who did a video response, he came up with was the Street Fighter series, and I completely agree with him. I think the Street Fighter series has definitely been consistent up to now. I mean, of course, like most games, it has had its missteps along the way. But I think up till now, where we are at Street Fighter 4, that is a great game, and you know, I think as it's sort of gone on, it's definitely improved and gotten better. So the Street Fighter series, in my opinion, is definitely one of those series that has remained consistent. One series that I thought of, although this is not the one that I'm settling on, was the Metal Gear Solid series, and that. What I'm essentially talking about is from Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1 all the way up to Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS3. In my opinion, those games have remained consistent all the way. Just fantastic games, and I think there's not been a weak game among them. I won't include Metal Gear Rising in that because Metal Gear Rising is not an actual Metal Gear game. It's a spin-off, so it's not part of the main series. But in my opinion, they're as great from when it started up to Metal Gear Solid 4. Fantastic games. But that's not the series I'm going to settle on. The series I'm going to talk about is the Rayman series. I think Rayman has been consistent throughout. I can't think of a weak Rayman game. It started off as a 2D game on the PlayStation 1 and Saturn. Really great game. As it sort of went on, it became sort of a 3D game. And now it's gone back to its 2D roots with Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. And I think they've remained consistent throughout. And I definitely think that going back to its 2D roots was a good move. And yeah, I think it's a consistent series. But saying all this though, this is all really subjective, because as I was sort of thinking what game series to come up with for this video, I just sort of thought, you know, this is all really subjective. I mean, no matter what I say to you guys, there's always going to be someone out there that's going to disagree with me. You know, like, each to their own, really. I mean, you know, like I was saying, you know, I think the Street Fighter series has remained consistent, but I know there's going to be people out there that are going to completely disagree with me. I'm sure there are people out there that can't stand Street Fighter 4, or can't stand Street Fighter 3, or can't stand the Alpha series. But, you know, it's all subjective. So this is one of those ones that it's really hard to sort of give any definitive answer. But I just thought, you know, for the sake of the video and, you know, for the sake of actually giving some form of answer, I'm definitely going to settle on the Rayman series. But it's definitely an interesting question because as I was watching Carl's video, you know, when he was sort of bringing up names, a lot of what he was bringing up, I sort of agreed, you know, they'd sort of lost their way or whatnot. Like a good example would probably, the one that he brought up, was it was the Castlevania series. Now, personally, I'm perfectly fine with the current Castlevania games, like the Lords of Shadow games. I love them, I really do. But truth be told, if I was to have my way, I would want it to go back to the original 2D games. That's just my preference. I mean, I love the Lords of Shadow series as a standalone series. I enjoy them. I've got Lords of Shadow on the PS3. I've completed it. I loved it. I recently picked up Mirror of Fate, which I plan to complete, and I'm definitely going to jump on Lords of Shadow 2. So I do like those games, but I understand the fans and the fact that they want to sort of go back to the Metroidvania style or the more linear style games, or at the very least just bring it back in line to the original timeline of the Castlevania series. So I know there are people that don't like those games, but saying that though, and again, this is just my opinion, people will disagree with me, but the games play fine. You know, they're not broken, they're solid. I mean, you take the Castlevania license away from that series, from the Lords of Shadow series, and it's still a consistently good series of games. They're perfectly playable. They're very long, good length of time. They're fantastic. At least based off what I've played off the first game, it's a brilliant game. I really enjoyed it. You know, so whether it's a Castlevania game or not, it's a solid game. So, but I suppose in the grander scheme of things, is it, you know, where it should be given that it's past? Probably not. But I think there was definitely an effort put there, and I you know, like I said, I'm perfectly fine with them, but I understand people's grievances with that series. So I think to a lot of people, Castlevania is not where it should be at the moment. So anyway, I'm just rattling off here, but that is my video response. Thank you very much, Carl Woodlin37, for the video. I enjoyed making this video. I had to rack my brain for a little bit. I couldn't believe I didn't come up with Street Fighter. That really I saw ST Roro's video and I was like, of course, Street Fighter. That to me was the one. But you know what, Rayman, definitely a great series. Check it out, guys, if you haven't. Yeah, I think it's good. So that's it. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll be back very soon. Bye bye.